Hello everyone, Board Game Lawyer here. It is a Saturday evening and I thought tonight I'd mix things up a little bit and I'd play with some Star Realms. That's another card game that I enjoy playing from time to time. I go through streaks where I play for a few weeks and then I put it away for 6 months and then I bring it back out again and play it. So it's a good game. It's a nice balanced battle game. It's a back and forth game and I enjoy that. So let's get started. I like to play with the core set whenever I play Star Realms, and so I'm going to go look for a challenger online. So I'll hit start button, and it's going to look for a challenger online. You can see I already played with one of my friends today. So if you play Star Realms and you're interested in hitting me up for a game, my handle in Star Realms is Lord Ducat. It looks like we got a V Gingerbread is the challenger today. So let's bring up the game here and let's take a look and see. So I go first, so I only got 3 cards that I can play here at the beginning, and it looks like at least I've got some options here. I can either choose a blob faction, which these are the aggressive guys, or I could pick a outpost, which is good for defense. Nothing really for trade though, unless I buy one of these generic explorer cards over here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up the battle pod because I can destroy cards with that, and we'll just go ahead and grab a blob fighter on top of that. Yep. So I grab 2 cards with those 3 trade goods. Well, it looks like in my next card draw, I again only have 3 trade goods. So not a really good start to the game. You want to try to get things like the patrol mech, which can hit hard, or it has good money, or it can scrap a card if you couple it with another machine cult. There's 4 different there's 4 different factions. So there's the Blob faction, which is the green cards that I bought earlier. There's the Trade Federation, which are the blue cards over here to the right. And then there's also the Star Empire. That's the yellow cards. It has the yellow icon on it. And then there's also the Machine Cult, which is the red card. So the ones that have these little red icons on them, that's from the Machine Cult. They're the Scrappers. You can get rid of cards with the Scrappers, those vanilla starter cards, which are these right here. So this is your combat value down here on the bottom of the Viper card. And then there's a trade value here at the bottom of the Scout card. And over here, this green value is your authority. Now each turn is timed. So my opponent took a little time there to play that first one. I guess he had to think about what he's going to get. And you can click on and see what he picked up. He picked up the battle station. You can look at his discard pile. I can also look at my discard pile to see what I picked up. So I'm going to play my 3 cards. I guess I'll grab that embassy yacht. It's only really good to get these if you have bases in play, like the barter world over here or the war world. I'll go ahead and pick up the embassy yacht. And then I've got 2 combat that I can use to knock off 2 of his authority, which is hit points basically. And I'll end my turn. Okay, so my opponent has 45 seconds. After he played his card, it kind of bumped it up a little bit to 60. I'm playing a little slower than normal because I'm talking as I'm playing. So I get a supply bot out there. I'm excited about that because this allows us to scrap those vanilla cards that are in our hand. So I'm just going to play all these cards. You notice I have 3 trade goods now. It's listed, it's shown right here. 3 trade goods. I'm going to go ahead and pick up that supply bot, and then with the 4 combat, I'm going to hit V Gingerbread to knock him down to 44. Alright, so he played 4 of his cards. He's got 1 more to play, and it is his mirror card. So he did pretty good. Again, only 3 trade goods to use, but I can scrap a card in the trade row, so I don't want him necessarily to have that dreadnought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out that card. It says I can scrap a card in the trade row, so we're going to click the dreadnought. We're going to scrap that. And it still didn't drop anything of value for me, but I do want to get some trade goods. So I'll go ahead and grab one of those explorers. Hit him. I have one trade good left. Can't spend anything on it, so we'll just go ahead and end our turn. Let's take a look up at the menu here, because this will tell us what level he's at. He's a level 11. So it's pretty good. He's been playing for a while. Should be a good match. Yep, he's got 26 seconds left to make his choices here. Alright, so he's got out the battle station. So it's got a defense on there. I got to knock through this defense on that battle station. See how it's an outpost that has 5? I cannot attack his authority unless I knock out his outpost first. And I don't have enough damage in my hand to be able to do that. So he's going to get a free. No damage in that round. I'm going to go ahead and pick up that outpost. And that's all I can do on my turn. I just waste that one combat because I can't get through his battle station there. So in my turn. So look again at the menu here and tells us, yeah. Doesn't tell us much more. I think I'm at level 22. It's been a minute since I've looked. Okay, so here's one of these supply bots that allows me to scrap a card. And I can scrap it out of my discard pile, which is handy. So I'm going to get rid of one of those Vipers. And I'll play the rest of my cards. So now I've got 6 trade goods I can use. And that flagship's nice. It allows me to draw an extra card, and it allows me to do 5 damage. So I'll go ahead and pick up that one. I still don't have enough damage to get past this battle station, so I'm kind of hurting there. But we do have a lot of damage potential in the next card play, unless I have to discard something. The Star Empire, which is the yellow cards, they are known for causing your opponent to have to discard cards. But I haven't seen too many of those floating around yet. I got that Blob Fighter, which whenever you play him with another blob, it says that I can draw a card. That's that special text at the bottom. So I'll begin by just putting out that. It allows me to scrap a card in the trade row. So I'm going to go ahead and scrap that Blob Carrier, because I don't have enough money to buy it, and I don't want him buying it. Now whenever I put out the Blob Fighter, see, I can couple on this Battle Pod this 2. I get this 2 bonus because I played another Blob card. And with the Blob Fighter, it allowed me to draw an extra card because I played it with a Blob card. So that's why I got to draw another card. And then Flagship allows us to draw a card. I'm going to play the rest. So now I have 4 trade goods that I can spend. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that Patrol Mech. I like him. He's pretty versatile. I've got 15 damage output. So I first have to hit the battle station. Then I can hit his battle. Then I can hit his authority. And I think I'm going to go ahead and scrap that Explorer. To give me 2 more damage. Go ahead and hit V Gingerbread for 2 more damage. And we'll end our turn. So the idea is to try to get his authority all the way down to 0 in Star Realms. Mine's sitting at 47 right now. You can look at your discard pile, see what kind of cards you've picked up. That way, whenever you go to purchase something, you can you want to try to go tribal. You want to be able to get as many benefits as you can from playing a card. So, like this trade bot here that he just picked up. There's another one on the table. He gets automatic 3 trade goods, but if he plays it with another blob card, he would get 2 damage that he could do. Now here's one of the best cards in the game that just came out on the table, the Command Ship, and I don't have enough money to buy it. He probably does, which is dangerous because that allows you to draw 2 cards, heal, and do output of damage. And you can destroy a target base if you play it with another Trade Federation card. So I've got 6 goods. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the missile, and I don't have any damage output, so that's the end of my turn. Turn things back over to Mr. Gingerbread over there. The Gingerbread Man. I got a supply bot in hand. I've got War World, which is a good defense. Has a defense of 4. And it looks like he's probably, yep, he's going to have enough money to buy that Command Ship. So he will have the edge. Even though I'm leading in points right now, he's got enough money to pick up that Command Ship, which hopefully he does. Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. Pick up that Command Ship. One of the most powerful ships in the game. What do I got on the table? I've got a Corvette, Battle Pod, Trade Pod. I definitely want to try scrap cards, even if it's going to cost me some resources out of hand. So I'm going to put these out. I'm going to pick up the space station and do 3 damage. The reason I did that is because remember I picked up a card earlier that allows me to draw extra cards if space stations out on the table, and it's defense. So unless he scraps his barter world up there and knocks out my war world, I'll have some pretty good defense going into my next turn. I don't have any Star Empire or yellow cards to pair up with that war world. But that's another advantage to having. Let's see if he's going to do it. If he scraps his, he'll have enough damage output. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to scrap his base there. I'm going to do it for him. So I'm going to play my patrol mech. We're going to pick damage output because it's ore. If you play a card, it's ore, 3 or 5. And we're going to play the blob fighter, which is going to give us some more damage output. And we'll spend the rest. I have 2 resources. I love the Corvettes because they basically replace themselves because it's draw a card when you play it. And I'll go ahead and hit his base, and I'll smack his authority to knock him down to 24. So that'll end my turn. It's a fun game. It's pretty balanced in the base set. All the factions work really well together. It's pretty well thought out game. So I've got some blue cards that'll pair up with each other if I'm able to play those on my turn. I can get an extra 5 authority with the flagship if I play it along with the embassy. So he just did a lot of damage on his turn, and as you can tell, I don't think he's played his think he's played his big ship yet. So he'll have a good turn coming up. He keeps picking up cards, which is kind of watering down his deck. So we're going to put out the embassy yacht. We're going to do the flagship, which will allow me to draw a card. Now I can scrap a card to trade row. I got to be careful what I scrap here. Let's play the rest of these cards first to see what I've got in. So I've got $4 to spend, and $4 is good for. I'll go ahead and grab the Imperial Frigate at this point, and we'll go ahead and grab the Blob Fighter, and I can put this Battle Pod out, and that'll allow me to scrap a card in a trade roll. We'll hit the Battle Blob. I don't want him having that. That's 8 damage output if he gets that Battle Blob. I don't want him having that. Now I can hit him with 15 and knock him down to 12, so he's getting close to 0. It depends on a lot on what I draw on this next turn. If I get a, say it's kind of a lousy hand that I got dealt, so he will most likely survive another turn. So I got to make sure he's not able to do 45 output of damage, and he's not, which is kind of surprising that he's not able to put out that much damage on his turn. If he scraps his battle station, he'll be able to get 5 more damage, but he really wants the defense since he's down to 12. Alright, so I'm going to put out the frigate, and I'm going to go ahead and scrap it. This allows me to draw a card if I scrap this, but I won't be able to play it again. But it won't get around to the deck again anyway. So I pick up a scrapping card, and I'll go ahead and get rid of one of these and play this. So now I can pick up, I'm going to pick up the Battle Pod because it's 4 damage. I don't want him having that. It's more of a preventative measure. And I can't hit him because I don't have enough damage to knock out his outpost. I've only got 4 damage that I can do. So I'll go ahead and pick up the survey ship as well because it can replace itself. It draws a card and it causes him to discard a card. I'll go ahead and end my turn. I'm going to have to get some... There we go. Now we've got some cards that's got some damage potential in my hand. As long as I don't have to discard anything and he's not able to heal up very much, I should have a pretty good run this time. And yeah... So this type of base here, the Barter World, it has 4 defense on it, but it doesn't stop me from knocking out his authority. It just stops me from knocking. It just causes me to have to spend 4 damage in order to knock it off the table because he may have cards that pair up with it, you know. So yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw a card, and then we'll play. It's what's nice about this one here, the missile. I can destroy a target base with the text on here. We may destroy a target base. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to knock out the battle station. Okay, so right now on the table I've got 11 output of damage. I can bypass his barter world because he does not, this is not an outpost, it's just a base, and it doesn't block me from knocking out his authority. But he's sitting there with 14 now. So yeah, I'll go ahead and put the patrol mech out. The damage output from that is enough to knock him all the way. And so that was a pretty fun game. I'll go ahead and set up another one. I'll back out. Now the nice thing about this is that you can actually replay it if you want. You can go back and replay a game after you've played it before. You can, let me just X out of here. So if I click on that game that we just played, you can do a replay last turn, replay all, or rematch. So I could rematch Gingerbread if I want to play him again. But we'll just go out and try to find somebody else. So we're going to pick a new game. And we'll hit start. And we'll just kind of wait. So whenever you win a game, it shows up in yellow on your screen. When you lose a game, which you'll notice I lost 2 games today already. And let's see what else I did. Yeah, I won one over here. So I've won more than I've lost today, which is not, I'm not bragging because, you know, this game can go either way. I'm by no means an expert. I am at level 22. So if you want to level up to your next level, you have to win. So right now I'm at 13 wins. I was at 12 wins. I beat the last opponent, so that put me up to 13. And then, but if I would have lost a game, it would have knocked me back one. So we got a new game up and running. And so look, there's Brain World on the table. We got the Missile Bot. I like what I see on the table right now. It's just a lot of damage cards, but man, that Brain World, if you can get a hold of that, you can scrap cards and draw cards to replace them. You could really cycle through a deck. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of trade on the table to buy right now. Since that's the case, I'm going to buy the Battle Bot because that'll let me scrap some of these cards. I call them starter cards. All right. So he actually did pretty good. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a battle pod because that'll allow me to scrap a card in a trade row. So that'll allow me to kind of knock out some cards if I don't get enough trade goods. And there we go. Trade pod. That gives me 3 trade goods. So that's good. I like that. Used up all my trade goods. Got 1 damage to Hawk. He's our new opponent. Let's take a look at his stats and see where he's at. He's at level 19, so he's a little closer to my level, so that means it should be a little bit closer of a game. What I like about the Star Realms online is that it does pair you up with people who have similar skill set to yours. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Machine Base. I had 7 trade goods, just shy of 1 of that Brain World. That Brain World, if you can get that, that's money in the bank. And I can scrap the Brain World now if I wanted to. Let's take a look and see what his potential is. You can click and see what his potential is. So on his turn, he could have 2, 4, so he can have up to 7. So he won't be able to pick up the Brain World. So I won't scrap it just yet. I think what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to scrap this other card that he could potentially get, that Battle Blob, because I can't afford it right now. And that's a card that could really do some damage, and I don't want him doing that. I do want to knock him out. I have 1 trade good left. That's nothing good for me. All right. See, he could have bought that battle. Ooh, I bet you he would have liked to have that battle cruiser. If you can get a hold of that battle cruiser, that's another good card. That's another boss card in the game. I'm going to play that. We're going to scrap the Viper so that I can put out at least 3 money there, and with that I'm going to grab the Missile Bot. Just grabbing the scrapper cards so that he doesn't. So now I do have enough money in hand, and he does not, to get that Brain World. So this is going to be sweet. Pick up the Brain World, and I also have enough damage output to knock out his battle station as well in my turn. We're still even, 46 health. But I like what just happened there. Getting that Brain World. I've got machine base, which draw a card, then scrap a card from your hand. It's not bad. I just lose a card out of my hand. Alright, let's see what we get. So I'm going to go ahead and play that machine base. I'm going to use the text on it. Draw a card, then scrap a card from your hand. And the card that's drawn is a scout, so we'll scrap one of the scouts. I'll go ahead and play my 3 trade goods under the table. Grab the survey ship because it draws a card. And now I'm going to scrap a card that I don't want him to have, and I don't want him having the recycle station. Scrap that. That recycle station is pretty good because it allows you to cycle through your deck and find cards that can really do you some good. So now I've got the brain world, and I've also got a missile bot. I've got the machine base unless he's able to take it out, which he's getting close. If he scraps both of these explorers and he finds one more damage output, which he didn't, so I'll keep that machine base. So I'll actually be able to pick up a pretty good turn. So I'm building a pretty good board state right now because this brain world, you'll see what it can do in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and play the brain world because what that'll allow me to do is scrap up to 2 cards from your hand or discard pile and draw a card for each card scrapped this way. So we'll scrap 2 cards out of the discard pile. And then it allows me to draw 2 cards. Then we're going to play the missile bot to scrap another card in the discard pile. And then I'm going to use the text on the machine base. So I'm just getting rid of all those vanilla cards right now. So here we get rid of that scout. We'll play another missile bot to get rid of another scout. And then I'll put out the trade bot. Play that. I'm just going to start picking up bases now because it's going to make it extremely hard for him to overcome me if I've got a bunch of bases out on the table. So there we go. So now you're going to see that I got a whole lot less starter cards in my hand. And he doesn't have enough damage output to take out the brain world. So I could start even getting rid of some of these trade pods too. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and use my brain world. I'm going to scrap a trade pod and a scout to draw 2 cards. Yep, here we go. Now we can draw another card. So these are all damage cards for the most part. So if I put this out, I can start scrapping stuff that he might want. And I'm not even going to try to scrap anything else. I'm just going to pick up cards that allow me to draw extra cards. Select none. Select none. I'll go ahead and pick up a card to scrap a card. Put out. See, now I'm getting this defense built up over here. And scrap this card because it'll cause him to discard a card. So he's even got less opportunities now. I'm not even going to mess with the cutter. I'm not going to spend my money. I'm just going to go ahead and hit him for 16. And then I'm going to heal for 1. So I have unspent trade, and that's fine. I like where I'm at right now in the game. It's going to be really hard for him to come back and beat this. He has to knock out 16 health just in bases before he can even get to any of my authority. Now he is causing me to discard a card. And he's probably going to have me discarding another card before it's over with, I'm sure. Alright, he puts out his base, so he's trying to shore up his defense. I just don't think it's going to be enough. He is going to be able to get through both of my bases, though. It's looking pretty good. Knocking those out. Now I'm discarding more cards. Yep. So I have to discard 2. So we'll for sure get rid of the scout. And we'll also get rid of one of these missile bots. We'll play let's do the battle pod. And we'll scrap that big base on the right over there. Also play the blob fighter, which allows me to draw a card. Trade pod. Here we go. We're not going to scrap anything, I don't think. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just scrap the scout. That's fine. And then we can knock him out. Knock him down to 9. And I've got 3 goods to pay for something. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it. I'm not even going to spend it. So now I should be able to draw enough cards to take him out. Unless he's able to heal up. If he's able to put out some more trade federation. Nope, not able to do that. He will cause me to discard a card. He's probably going to. Oh, he didn't discard the survey. So all I need to do is get 9 damage out on the table. So we'll put out the battle pod. We'll scrap the mech world. Put out the blob fighter, which allows me to draw a card. Now we're up to 9. I'll just. Whenever you can get the brain world in your hand, and you get all these missile bots, you'll notice how all of my vanilla cards are gone. All my starter cards. Okay, so you notice that my victory, I got one more victory, one more closer to leveling up. I need 23 wins in order to go to level 23. Try one more game tonight. Usually I win one, lose one. So chances are this next game is going to belong to my opponent, but we'll wait for him. See if there's anything else I can explain while I'm in this wait mode here. So I played against MV Hawk. It tells you your stats after each game, which is nice. So we got deflective. So it's my turn. When it's in red, it's my turn. When it's in green, it's his turn. So I'll go ahead and click on the game to get it started. All right, so I've got 3 trade goods to play here at the beginning. And I can go ahead and pick up one of those trade bots. You know I like those. There's also a Federation ship, or I can grab the Explorer. The advantage is you can scrap the Explorer, but there are a lot of blue cards out there on the table, so it might be a good idea for me to go ahead and just grab a Federation shuttle. I'll have one left trade good that I didn't use. And again, I pick up another 3 like I did last game. Yeah. So that's kind of a disadvantage to not be able to have 4 trade goods, because that patrol mech would work really nicely with the card I picked up earlier. But I got the embassy yacht. Remember, I had a blue card I picked up earlier, so he'll work with them. And we didn't get to play them together. But I did manage to get out 6 trade goods, which is good because I can grab that blob carrier. It does 7 damage. Yep. I think I'll go ahead and pick him up. He's a bruiser. And I'll end my turn. So far, a little bit of synergy build up in my deck, but not as much as I would like. Now he's got some bases that he's put out, so that's gonna, and he's got the ability to cycle through his deck. That recycle station is awesome. So he should do pretty well in this game. He's getting a good board state set up. I won't be able to do any damage to him either because he's got a 4 out. But I will be able to buy some things. I've got $5 to spend, and I think with my $5, I'm going to pick up a patrol mech. Yeah. $1 left to spend, $1 combat, but I can't do anything to him because of his bases. Alright, so I got the trade bot in the embassy yacht. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. I'm at 50 health right now. He's at 48. He's doing good cycling through his deck, and I'm also not going to be able to have enough damage output to do anything to his side of the board. But I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trade goods to use. And I think first I'll do is scrap the Viper. And I'll play to pick up the trade bot. And with my 4 remaining dollars, how about I pick up... I need to be doing some damage output. I haven't really been able to do much of that yet. But I also like the fact that there's a base there. I don't want him picking up too many bases either, because then it'll make it too hard for me to overcome him. So that was more of a defensive move, picking up the base. Probably should have got the Imperial Frigate. I did get enough damage output this time to knock out both of his bases. But he was able to take advantage of those for a couple of turns there. Alright, so he is kind of slow playing. I'm going to click on his hand to see what his potential is. So he does have a recycling station in his hand. He's got 2 recycling stations. They don't do much as far as purchasing ability. They got a little bit of defense on them, but the big thing for the recycling station is that they're going to be able to help him to cycle through his deck. And there it is. He just picked it up. He's going to be able to put it out. There it is. And the last card is going to be, I think, a resource card, if I'm tracking him correctly. Nice thing about it is I'll be able to knock out both of those recycling stations, and he'll have to wait an entire turn to get them back. The only problem is I won't do any damage to him personally. So there we go. We're going to put out. So I got to determine if there's anything on the board that I want to spend money on. No, nothing, not really. So we'll go ahead and get damage output. So we'll knock out all 3 of his bases. So now we're in his discard pile. It's going to take him another turn before he can find them. In the meantime, I am going to grab, how about a ram? It does 4 damage. Or the battle pod. Let's look and see what I picked up so far. I've got a Federation. I got a very lackluster hand next turn. I'm not doing very good in this game. I'll probably lose this one. So I need to start thinking about picking up cards that do lots of damage. Just damage cards. Oh, see, I just gave him the Stealth Needle. I hate that. That's the only bad thing about picking up cards sometimes is you unearth something that's even better, and now you don't have the money to pay for it. So if he's got $4, he's got to go for that Stealth Needle. There it is. He bought it. And now he's going to be able to copy whatever card he wants that he puts out onto the table. Okay. So I can only do 1 damage to him. I've got $5 to spend. So we'll pick up a battle pod. And I'll pick up that frigate. Like I said, I'm picking up damage cards now because the race is on. I'm at a disadvantage. He's picked up a lot better cards than I have. He has the ability to cycle through his deck with those recycle stations. He's got another one in his hand too because those were stacked together. And he did cycle his deck. I believe. I could be wrong, or he might have just see, there it is. Now he might come out with the Stealth Needle. If he would have had the Stealth Needle and copied that Dreadnought, that would have been bad news. All right, so again, see, I'm down to 30. He's at 55. He's got lots of defense. All I can do is just knock out his bases from this point forward, really. I'm going to pick up the survey ship. And I'm not going to buy that trade pod right now because all it is really trade goods. And I'm needing to find things that do damage output. You can kind of tell when things are not going your way. Cards didn't pop just right. So, and that's good. He took advantage. He bought things he needed. Now that was kind of a break for me. I wish, let's see, do I have enough money to buy that command ship? That might turn things into my favor if I can scrap some cards and get that command ship out. Let's see if I can afford it. Nope, can't, because I can only acquire $3 more. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I just missed command ship by 1. So garbage cards on the table. Oh, I hate it. Not good. Yeah. And he's likely going to be able to pick up that command ship, which will be game over, no doubt. So I'm going to end my turn. I've only scratched him for 1 health since the beginning of the game. I've done more of that, but he's been healing up pretty good. Yep, there it is. Yep, he's got enough. He's got enough cash now. He can buy that command ship. Like I said, game can be real swingy. It can go one way or the other. Sometimes it goes in your favor, and sometimes it don't. So he's going to put out the Stealth Needle. Let's see what he's going to copy. Oh. Really doesn't get a chance to take advantage of that recycling station other than acquire cash to be able to buy the command ship. So that's game over. There's a chance I could come back and win at this point, but it's highly unlikely. He's got all the good cards. We're going to put the trade bot out, start scrapping some of this garbage. We're going to start doing some more scrapping here. Let's get rid of these starter cards. I don't know how many scrap cards he's managed to pull off. I think what I am going to do is I'm going to damage at least hit him here. I had to discard my defense over there. That's fine. Again, see, there's just nothing on the table for me to buy with my money. All the good cards are in his deck. That's not bad. But see that command ship. Ooh, but he wasn't able to couple it with anything to take true advantage of that command ship. So I kind of like that idea. And remember, I just picked up damage cards earlier, so I'm going to scrap some of this junk. Maybe I can pick up something cheap that does a lot of damage. Nope, not really. Oh, yes, I can. Acquire a ship without putting its... Okay, yeah, so check this out. So with the blob carry, it says acquire any ship without paying its cost and put it on top of your deck. You can do that because you coupled that with the pod there. So we're going to pick up the battle cruiser, which I love. We're going to throw down some damage cards. So I'm going to hit him for 18. And when I look at my deck to see what my potential card draws are, I could actually have a pretty good turn next time. And I've only got about half a dozen starter cards left in my deck. And this is a 4 damage output right there. So I'll just grab him too, just for good measure. So we're getting pretty close in our health here. And you'll notice I got the battle cruiser. I also got the survey ship. Now he's going to have a good turn. Especially... Let's see, how many cards does he have in his discard pile? Let's look at his discard. Oh, he's got a lot of cards in his discard pile, and a lot of them are starter cards. And he doesn't have a tremendous amount of damage output for all the value of cards he's got. But he's going to scrape together a pretty good turn. He could probably beat me if he scraps this Dreadnought. If he could throw down 5 more health on the table, and there it is. He's got me. All he's got to do is scrap that. There it is. Good job. Let's see what his level was. I don't know if I checked it or not. Yeah, he's level at 19. So he went up 1 to 7. So he's, in order for him to hit level 20, he has to get 20 wins. And again, every time, once you get past a certain level, I think it's like level 5, your losses are against you. All right, I got another one in me. Let's play another game. Who wants to go to bed on a loss? So let's start up another game. We'll wait. Star Realms is pretty fun. It's a nice, quick, back and forth game. I play a card, you play a card, I play a card, you play a card. And every once in a while, you're able to pull off some combos. Okay, so it's his turn. Let's see if I can start the game with actually some economy. So I got $4 to spend. And I love that because of the Stealth Needle. Stealth Needle's not going to be a whole lot of good here at the beginning of the game, but once you start riding the big cards, there you are. And look at that. Ooh. Oh boy, we've got a brain world out on the table now. I'm going to pick up this other freighter because he's big dollars. See, he's got $4 that he can spend. If I can use couple that with the Stealth Needle, then that's a brain world. And there it is. But he's got it instead of me. Bummer. That's the way it goes sometimes. He got the brain world. One thing I don't want him to have is that embassy yacht. And I don't want him building up a bunch of bases either now that he's got the brain world, because he can just keep recycling stuff. So I'm going to put that freighter out there. Stealth Needle. We're going to copy the freighter. So at least the next couple of cards I get to put on top of my deck. And so this will be the first one. And then the next one will be the trade pod here. So we're just going to go with money. And now I'll start picking up some of these bases. There we go. All right, so that missile bot will allow me to scrap a card that I just played. So I can scrap one of those scouts with that missile bot. I got $6 to spend. So we're going to first play the missile bot to discard a scout. And then I'm going to play the rest, so now I've got $6. So with those $6, I think I'm going to grab the battle station, and I'm going to grab the blob wheel. Yep, I'm just picking up bases because of what he did. again, if a person has the brain word and gets a bunch of bases and he's got that embassy yacht, which allows him to draw 2 extra cards, I'm taking the bases away from him. There we go. And I'll grab this base up and I'll spend no more dollars. Yeah. And the race is on. Okay, there's a scrap. I need that. So I'm going to put the trade pod out. I'm going to copy that. I will pick up the supply bot. I'm going to pick up another supply bot. I'm going to pick up no more supply bots. But I will put that out. And I'll go ahead and grab that Imperial Fighter, because it causes him to discard a card. And I'm not going to spend that last trade. Okay. He's going to have to start pinging. And I haven't seen his Brain World yet. He'll probably play it now. Yep, he's going to scrap both those cards in his hand because he didn't have anything in discard. That's the best possible time for him to pull up and hit that Brain World. And I do have enough damage output, I believe, yes I do, to knock out that Brain World. So he can't take advantage of it another turn. He's going to have to cycle another turn. And I'm going to get rid of the Viper. I'm going to play the Battle Station, this, and I don't have enough resources to, so I'll grab the Corvette, and we're going to do damage. Oh man, bummer. Command ship. If he gets that command ship, and he has that Brain World, he could really start to, there he goes, he's got it. Yep, he picked up the command ship, so now the race is really on. He's going to be able to knock out a couple of races there. But there is a Dreadnought on the team. I like that. Discard my Scout. I'm going to play the Missile Bot. This is actually a good game. This is probably the best game so far in the game because of we're both getting our board state set up pretty good. Okay, I'm going to copy... What am I going to copy? Am I going to copy a scrapper? Or am I going to... Let's see. I could copy the freighter to grab the Dreadnought. And I'll be able to put it on top of my deck. Because I will have played it. Actually, I could put 2 cards on top of my deck. If I do that. Let me think about this for a second. Should I keep the blob wheel around? I think I will. But I could draw an extra card. Or I could scrap an extra card. Wow, there's some choices here. Let's think about this. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll grab it. So I'm running out of time because I spent too much time talking and thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that Dreadnought. And I will hit him. And I'll end my turn. Yep. So, okay. If he doesn't pick up anything. Okay, good. He didn't get anything to scrap. So that was a waste of a Brain World. Ooh, terrible timing for Brain World there. Because I will be able to knock it out. He will not be able to take advantage of the scrapping of the Brain World. And that is exciting. Alright. So I'm going to scrap one of these cards over here in my discard pile. Now I get to draw a card. And we're going to knock out Brain World. You can't use that. I'm going to pick up... what's out there? Ooh, I could get the big base. I think I will. Yeah, I'm just stockpiling all bases. I've got a lot of my vanilla cards knocked out. Now he's got that command ship, so I'm expecting a pretty big turn for him. Yeah, he's looking pretty good right now. But only 9 damage. And so if he knocks out my blob wheel, which he may. Yep, he did. Not as much damage as he could have done. Let me see if there's any starter cards in my discard. There is. So if I play that supply bot, I can get rid of one of these scouts in my discard pile. Play the space station. Target opponent discards a card. Play all. Knock that out. I'm almost getting too many. I'm almost getting too many scrapper cards. Destroy a target base. How about I do that? I'm gonna grab that card. Destroy the target base. So I gave up a little bit of defense there. Not sure how smart that was. Because that's like almost like an 8-point swing. What's he got? Yeah, he's just got a 1. So he's gonna do 6 damage to me. This is a close game. I'm likely to lose. Got a lot of cards in my deck. Let's see what we draw with the Corvette. I got to discard 2 cards, so we'll just get rid of the money cards. We will scrap 1. Not too bad. Hey, should have played that earlier. I forgot I had that base. That would have been better. It says whenever you play a ship, you gain a damage. Let me see how much trade I got. Nope, I got enough to get anything worthwhile, so discard that. Ooh, got the stealth. That could mess up his turn. But I'm thinking he's probably going to be doing pretty good. Now, here's where he gets over the top on me. Because he's got the Brain World. He can scrap 2 cards to pick up 2 cards. And no doubt he's got some pretty good cards in his hand now. So, yeah, 15. There we go. Now he's up to 23. So he wins. He's got me. Unless he makes a mistake here by trying to knock out my Fleet HQ. He won't. Yeah, he's trying to get cute now and play all his turn. So let's do the Ram next. Ooh! I forgot he has a text on that command base. So that's 2 losses in a row. One more game. I'm still under an hour. Let's play one more on the core set. All right. So 2 losses in a row after pretty good stretch of wins today. See, I'm getting knocked back down again. I was up to 14 at one point, but those losses, those 2 losses knocked me back down to 12. So I'm trying to get to 23 in order to level up. But every time I lose a game, it knocks me back down again. That was a good game. I was just $1 away from picking up that command ship. If I could have got that command ship in that last game, that would have been it. That would have been it for me. I probably would have won. But that's the way it goes sometimes. It's the card draws. That's why you play the game. Waiting for an opponent. Now there's other expansions that you can purchase too. Other cards that you can play with. Let's see, I get to start first this time. And what's on the table? Not a lot. I can get that trade pod. That's not bad. And I can pick up the trade bot. So I like those scrappers, and I like to try to get trade goods at the beginning of the game. And there he goes, Patrol Mech. Good move. Now I can pick up a card that's going to cause him some grief at the beginning of each time I play. Each time I play it, he has to discard a card. I'm also going to pick up the battle pod, which will allow me to scrap cards. And then here's some money. Probably got too many cheap cards in my deck at the beginning of the game, because that tends to water it down. So start making things count. And I can't afford anything on the table right now. So I will play the trade bot. I'll scrap the Viper. And I'll play both of these to grab a couple Explorers. Again, there's expensive cards out there on the table. There's a lot of cheapies. So that we're both going to be probably buying Explorers until somebody can get a cheaper card out on the table. I could scrap something here. How about I scrap that trade escort, and I will play all of these, so I'll cause him to have to discard a card. I will grab that 3. So he gets to discard a card. Now I've got actually a money turn. $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 to spend on my turn. I'm going to go after that machine base. That will allow me to get rid of some cards. We're just about even on our health. Now I can buy another big card if it pops out, because that blob wheel, you can scrap it to get $3. Nothing major out there right now that I need to really worry about, so I'll just grab another base and scrap a card, do some damage, and my turn. Battle Pod. I got my blob wheel so that I can't get that big dollar card if it pops out. So I'll just play all these. I will scrap. How about I scrap? I'll scrap the RAM. And I'll pick up, a trade bot, a supply bot. That's a scrapper I like. And I'm not going to pick up an explorer. I think I've got enough small cards in my deck right now. Now we're wanting to kind of thin things out. Try to pick up some good cards. All right, so the machine base, when I play it, it says that I can draw a card and scrap a card from my hand. So that's what I'm going to do. Draw a card, scrap a card from my hand. I'll scrap that Viper. Maybe. Let me see how much damage I have to do. Let me see here. I got to hit him for 5. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll scrap the Scout. Trade bot comes out. We're going to scrap one of our starter cards. Play all. We'll scrap the Explorer so we got enough damage to take out the card. So now I can buy that flagship. Now we can start making some progress. Okay. Yep, flagship. And he's not got enough damage to knock out my machine base, because he chose to get resources instead. But he did get a decent base, so I'll give him that. We're going to draw a card. Excellent. We'll play the machine base, draw a card and scrap a card. And I'll go ahead and scrap the Viper. And I'll play all these. I'll discard a card because I played that Imperial Fighter. And I am picking up lots of bases, so this might be an opportunity for me to start looking at these embassy yachts, because they allow me to. I'll just look at this one. It says if you have 2 bases or more in play, draw 2 cards. And I did acquire some bases. I've got a few in here. I got one on the table that's decent. I'm going to hit him for 7, and I'm not going to buy that Explorer because, again, I just don't want cheap cards in my hand at this point. It's getting too late in the game to start picking up cheap cards. And he chose not to scrap his barter world so that he didn't take out my machine base, so that allows me to use the text on that again, and it just helps me to thin things out. And that trade bot, it's going to allow me to thin out my deck some more. Yeah, we're just going to start playing everything. I'm going to pick up this base here. And then I'm going to knock out his. I'm going to play the Battle Pod to knock out the Mothership so he can acquire it. And then I hit him for 10. Looking pretty good. So I'm getting this base built up over here. I'm not saying I'm going to win, but it definitely swung in my favor that turn, I think. And I've got rid of a lot of starter cards. I've basically got my starter cards in my hand right now. There's only one left in my deck. He's got several starter cards. Look at his. So, but he also has some big time blob cards which can do damage. He picked up some good cards that can destroy target base. So, if he can play that with other blob cards, he's doing pretty good. I don't know. The time is ticking. I'm worried that he may have lost connectivity or maybe just gave up. You can time out 3 times before you lose the game, but if he loses this turn, then it's over. Now sometimes it could be my internet that's stopped. So it looks like it's time. Yep, he lost. He gave up. He's out. So we're going to pick up some cards. I'm just going to try to finish this game. I'm going to scrap card out of my hand. Can I do enough damage this turn to take him out? I don't think I can. Let me scroll through and see. No. I'm going to use the machine base to discard the scout. Yep, I may have enough damage now to do it. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, he just dropped out. He saw what was happening, and he's like, I'm done. Some of the games that I played tonight. So if you look back in the last history, so Gingerbread was my first win. I won 45 points. I had 45 health left, and he had -2. No, I guess I don't know if it's 2 or how that works. Yeah, I guess it is -2. Unless, I don't know if it's still in the game or not, but you can kamikaze yourself. I mean, if you want to get out of the game and you want to move on, which may be what my last opponent did, because it says he has 3 health left. So he may have just dropped out of the game. Whenever that happens, the game will still allow you to finish your combo. So some people get like these huge combos there at the end of the game, and that's what they've been building up for the whole game. And so oftentimes your opponent, they just kind of drop out. They might just blow themselves up before you get an opportunity to take them out. So I think that the game has basically built into it that if your opponent decides to drop out, that's fine, but it still allows you to pull off your combo turn that you've been working for 15 or 20 minutes playing this game to build up this really awesome force, and then you can't use it because the other guy quit. And so it allows you to finish it off, and I think that's pretty cool. That's nice. So again, Lord Ducat, if anyone would like to play against me, you can challenge me, Lord Ducat. Probably better if it's a 48-hour challenge, because I don't hang around the computer all day. And then we just do it like turn-based instead of timed. I'm at level 22, working towards level 23. I didn't make really much progress tonight at all. I won 3 games and lost 1. So basically I netted 1 point closer to my 23 wins this evening. So that's Star Realms. Again, there's 4 different factions. They all play differently. We have the Blob faction. Those are like the bruisers. Those are the guys that you get a hold of those guys, and they can really do some damage to your opponent, especially if you can couple them together. So that's the green cards. The blue cards were the Trade Federation, and the strength of the Trade Federation is they can heal. And they have a lot of card draws, but it's mainly healing. So you can heal back up if you're the Trade Federation. The Star Empire is the yellow cards. Those are the cards that you play that really booger up your opponent's turn. You throw those down. A lot of those are your opponent discards a card. And if you can cull your hand out to where that's your deck to where that's all you've got, and you play those every turn, there are opportunities. I've seen it before, where every time you play a hand in a round, that your opponent has to discard basically their entire hand. That happens every once in a while. It doesn't happen all the time. So it's not like it's overly powerful. And then that machine cult is the red cards, and those are your scrappers. Those are the guys that are going to go in there and get those junk cards and tear them out of your deck, which I think that in just about every instance this evening in the wins that I had, you saw how my starter cards were basically more than half of them were gone by the end of the game. That's really what you want to try to do, is to try to reach out early on and grab some of those machine cult cards. So anyway, this is my Saturday night Twitch, and this is Star Realms Saturday. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you saw something that you liked in the game. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I am the Board Game Lawyer, and my email is boardgamelawyer@gmail.com. Easy enough. I also play other games too. I play Marvel Champions. That's primarily what I play on stream, and I play that typically on Friday evenings, or from time to time I'll do a challenge with one of the players in the community. So thanks for watching my stream this evening. Hope you have a good night, and we'll see you again next week.